What are all the various types of cost are there? There are 8 bases in which, because we know various costs. What are all the costs we come across? Material, labor, variable. What are all the so many costs are there? Okay, direct cost, indirect cost, factory cost. Then all the costs, how we have to group? That is called cost classification. Cost classification segregate into 8 parts. Time-based classification, element-wise classification, behavior or nature or variability, relationship, controllability, normality, functionality, and decision making. So 8 bases in which we can classify the cost. So time, element, behavior or nature or variability, relationship, controllability, normality, functionality, and decision making. On the base of time, cost can be classified into 3 types: historical cost, current cost, and predetermined cost. On the base of element, material, labor, and other expenditure. Don't say overhead, material, labor, and other expenditure. On the base of behavior or nature or variability, fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. On the base of normality, normal and abnormal cost. On the base of relationship, direct cost and indirect cost. On the base of controllability, controllable and uncontrollable cost. On the base of functionality, production, administration, selling and distribution, research and development, pre-production and conversion cost. On the base of decision making, relevant and irrelevant cost. These are all the various cost classifications are there. So how many bases are there to classify the cost? 8 bases are there. What are all the 8 bases? Cost, time-based classification, element-wise classification, behavior or nature or variability, relationship, controllability, normality, functionality, and what? Decision making. Am I right? So time-based classification. What are the historical costs? The chart will help you to what? Prepare or understand better. Time-based classification, material, labor, and other expense. Sorry, time-based classification, historical cost, current cost, and predetermined cost. Element-based classification, material, labor, and other expenditure. Behavior, also called nature, also called variability, called fixed, variable, and semi-variable. Relationship, direct and indirect. Controllability, controllable and uncontrollable cost. Normality, normal and abnormal cost. Functionality, production, administration, selling and distribution, research and development, pre-production, and conversion cost. These are all the various bases in which we can be in the position to classify the cost. Now, so we are in cost classification. 8 bases we are discussed. Now, shall we discuss the definition based on the cost classification? On the base of time, cost can be classified into historical cost, current cost, and predetermined cost. What is called the historical cost? Costs which are already incurred in the past are known as historical cost. Costs which are already incurred in the past. Incurred cost is a historical cost. Costs which are incurred for the purpose of day-to-day affairs of the business are called current cost. What is called the current cost? Costs which are incurred for the purpose of day-to-day affairs of the business are called the current cost. Next one is predetermined cost. Costs which are yet to incur or to be incurred in near future are known as predetermined cost. Like present tense, past tense, future tense, historical cost, current cost, and predetermined cost. Yet to incur means a present what? Budgets, projections, these are all called what? Predetermined cost. Based on element, cost can be classified into material, labor, and other expenditure. So material, element means what? To produce a product, what are all the elements I need, ingredients I need, material I need, labor I need, and other expenditure. What is called the material cost? Costs which are incurred for physical, tangible input to produce a product. Costs which are incurred for physical, tangible input to produce a product are called material cost. Nothing but cost of purchase of raw material, cost of consumption of raw material is called material cost. Purchase value of raw material or consumption of raw material is called material cost. Labor cost represent what? Costs which are incurred for human resources to produce a product. Kindly make a note. Okay, that is also equally important. Costs which are incurred for human resources to produce a products are called labor cost. Example, salaries, wages and all, bonus, everything comes under the labor cost. Other expenditure represent what? Costs which are incurred for the purpose of producing the product other than material and labor are known as other expenditure. It's a residual category. So based on element, three types are the material, labor and other expenditure. Next one is what? On the base of behavior, also called nature, also called variability. Because out of 8 classification, you can get any 2 questions as a short notes question, short notes on, or cost classification based on behavior. So on the basis of behavior, you should be in the question, no, 3 types are there. What are they? Fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. So any one of the cost classification, they frequently asked a question. So on the basis of behavior, behavior also called what? Nature, also called what? Variability. 3 types are there. What are they? Material, fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. What is called fixed cost? Total cost remain constant irrespective of the level of production are known as fixed cost. Total cost remain constant irrespective of level of production. Whereas per unit cost varies. Per unit cost varies. That is important based on the practical problems are there. I'll repeat once again. Fixed cost represent total cost remain constant irrespective of the level of production, whereas per unit cost varies are known as fixed cost. Example for the fixed cost, rent. Next definition, variable cost. Total cost varies depending upon the volume of production. The production is important, okay? Total cost varies depending upon the volume of production, whereas per unit cost remain constant are known as variable cost. Example, raw material cost. Remember one thing, in fixed cost, total cost remain constant. Whereas variable in fixed cost, total cost remain constant, whereas per unit cost varies. Whereas in variable cost, total cost varies, whereas per unit cost remain constant. That is what the definition. Semi-variable cost represent what? Costs which are partly fixed in nature and partly variable in nature are known as semi-variable cost. Partly fixed cost and partly variable cost. Neither fully fixed nor fully variable. Example, our landline telephone charges. Whether I am using it or not, per month rent, fixed cost I have to pay, bill amount. Depending upon the usage, I have to pay extra charge also. Therefore, the bill amount consists of partly fixed and partly variable. Or telephone, electricity bill. Depending upon the usage, I have to pay money. Whether I am using it or not, minimum charges I have to pay. Therefore, partly fixed in nature and partly variable in nature. Therefore, semi-variable cost. So, based on behavior, cost can be classified into fixed, variable, and semi-variable cost. Next, on the basis of relationship, cost can be classified into 2 types: direct cost and indirect cost. What is called direct cost? Costs which are directly attributable to produce of products are called direct costs. Costs which are directly attributable to produce of products are called direct costs. That thing, but one-to-one relationship between produced product and incurred costs are there, that is called direct cost. Example for the direct cost, raw material purchase value of raw material. Whereas indirect costs represent what? Costs which are indirectly help you to produce a product are known as indirect costs. Their one-to-one relationship between produced product and incurred cost won't be there. So costs which are directly attributable to produce a product mean direct cost. Costs which are indirectly help you to produce a product mean that it's called indirect cost. Remember one thing, collection of all direct costs are called prime costs, whereas collection of all indirect costs are called overhead. Example for the prime cost, material cost. Example for the indirect cost or overhead, supervisor salary. Wages may be the direct cost. Supervisor salary, irrespective of the number of production, salary remains same. Therefore, indirectly help you to produce a product. Therefore, it's called what? Indirect cost. Then, based on controllability, cost can be classified into controllable cost and uncontrollable cost. What is called the controllable cost? Costs which can be controlled by the management of the company are known as controllable cost. Costs which are beyond the control of the management are known as uncontrollable costs. Within the control represent what? Costs which can be controlled by the management. Within the powers of the management, I am having control, I am having power, I am having influence over the cost. Then it is called the controllable cost. For example, controllable cost. Due to Corona, this month I am going to reduce the wages. Possible or not possible? Salary I am going to reduce. 50% only I can pay salary. Then management discretion possible. Therefore, it's a controllable cost. Because management have the influence over reduction in cost. This time no bonus or reduction in percentage of bonus. These are not controllable costs. Costs which are beyond my control. Because of that, I don't want to pay GST or I don't want to renew the license fee. Is it possible? Irrespective of the case, I have to pay. It is not within my control, then it is called what? In uncontrollable cost. Costs which can be controlled by the management is called controllable cost. Costs which are beyond the control of the management is called what? Uncontrollable cost. So whether within your control or not, that you have to identify. Or you are going for outing along with your friends. Costs are controllable, uncontrollable? Yes, controllable. Suppose you are going along with your girlfriend, then costs are controllable. So whether with your power is within you or not, accordingly controllable or uncontrollable. Even to understand better manner, coaching class fee may be controllable cost if you want or don't want, whether we want to take the coaching or not, up to your discretion. Controllable cost. Examination fee, ICA fee, then uncontrollable. Even if you want, you can't the person to control. So what all the costs within your influence is there being controllable cost. Yes, it is not one uncontrollable. Then based on normality, cost can be classified into two types. What are all the normal cost and abnormal cost? Normal costs represent expected cost, reasonable cost, unavoidable in nature, inherent in nature are known as normal cost. Expected reasonable cost. Over and above the normal cost are called what? Abnormal cost. For example, normal cost and abnormal cost. Railway ticket reservation, normal cost. Tatkal reservation, over and above something you have to pay, then it is called what? Abnormal cost. Over and above something if you are going to pay, then it is called abnormal cost. Then, on the basis of functionality, cost can be classified into production, administration, selling and distribution, research and development, pre-production, and conversion cost. Nothing but if I'm going to slice the cost based on activities involved in the production, then it is called what? Controllable. That is called what? Function-based classification. What are all the activities involved? Production activity, selling activity, purchasing activity. If I'm going to slice the cost, production, administration, selling and distribution, research and development, pre-production, conversion, everything is called what? Functional-based classification of cost. And the last one is based on decision making. Costs which can be useful for the purpose of decision making are known as relevant cost. Based on decision making, two types are there. One is relevant cost, one is irrelevant cost. What is called relevant cost? Very frequently asked question. Relevant cost represent what? Costs which are useful for the purpose of decision making are known as relevant cost. Example for the relevant cost: opportunity cost, out of packet cost, explicit cost, differential cost, incremental cost, decremental cost, replacement cost. These are all called what? Relevant cost. Irrelevant costs represent what? Costs which are not useful for the purpose of decision making are known as irrelevant costs. Example: sunk cost, committed cost, absorbed fixed overhead. These are all what? Irrelevant for decision making purpose. These are all various types of cost classifications and its definition. So now you understood definition part with respect to various class classification. So we are in theory part. Remember, all the theory past exam question only are going to discuss. And always having the habit of parallelly have to write the note, revise, because understanding is one part, and whatever you understood, you should be able to reproduce answer. For that, you have to put some extra effort. Okay. So till now, you understood the basic concept of the theory. And one more theory definition, other parts, part 2, I'm going to discuss later. So up to this stage, you are comfortable. Am I right? Good. Have a nice day.